Yes, movement as medicine. In the past, I've discussed the idea of collagen in our system that comprises 30% of our body weight. And it is best built actually by ingesting foods that help the body build collagen as opposed to taking collagen itself. Collagen is closely associated with the connective tissue that holds our body, organs, tissues, blood vessels, bones, and joints together. That tissue is called fascia. Fascia is closely aligned with collagen. It's a heavier duty form of tendon-like material, distinctly stronger than collagen. However, collagen cushions it. And this is the tissue that responds remarkably well to kindness. Why is that? Several researchers have noted the significant connection between our thinking, our traumas, and our emotional state as it relates to the aches and pains we experience in our fascia. Why does that happen? Fascia is heavily infiltrated with nerve tissue. Injuries, surgery, and even strain due to incorrect use of our structural positioning, poor posture and so forth, will result in pain that must be healed with kindness. If we don't change our mindset, medications will not be that effective in overcoming this type of pain and aggravation. Interestingly enough, there's been a couple of researchers that have written whole books about that. This one by Bruce Lipton was written as The Biology of Belief. And then there's Bessel van der Kolk, who wrote the book The Body Keeps Score. These medical researchers of pain caused by judgments are why pain relief is not curative, but palliative. Taking medications are not going to change our mind. As a matter of fact, using pain medications do not address the cause of pain. It delays the healing and often results in habituation. Our thoughts and criticisms and unkind words from others, including the trauma caused by PTSD, must be addressed in ways that release our judgments. The best way to do that is by using movement as medicine. Hence our topic for this morning. Things as simple as stretching, resistance, and gentle flexing with movement has 3 important healing benefits. First, moving the body, especially in ways that enhance focus, takes our thoughts out of our head and into our body. The focus of yoga, balancing, and the resistance with weights can allow healing in the nervous tissue of fascia that is causing the pain. I'd like to give you a brief demonstration of a very simple exercise that's highly restorative, boosts circulation, wakes up the brain, and takes your mind off of what seems to be aggravating you at the moment.
This exercise that's extremely beneficial in a lot of ways is borrowed from Tai Chi. You go up on your toes, and then you bend over, you lift your toes. So you go up on your toes, but lift your heels, then lift your toes. Lift your heels, lift your toes. Lift your heels, lift your toes. And aim for eventually doing 100 of these. This remarkable movement exercise is so phenomenal in giving you a good night's sleep.
A good friend of mine had 2 hip replacements several months apart. After the first one, he focused on the pain near the surgical wound. This focus helped him realize that the pain he felt was due to the actual surgical process and not the bone-on-bone pain that resulted from loss of hip cartilage. If you were concerned about the cartilage being worn down in the hip, knowing that it may never grow back. That's a lot more aggravating than if you realize the surgical pain will eventually heal itself due to the body's own healing mechanisms. So just having the focus on a better outcome helped him heal a lot faster than if he focused on the pain caused by a relatively slow-moving healing process, if at all. The likelihood of him restoring the cartilage in his hip was pretty dismal compared to the surgical recovery time period. So he only used pain medication on the first day after surgery, and that relieving his pain for the second hip replacement was just as successful in recovery. Fascia, being a sensory organ, through pain, it informs us that we are not using our body correctly. So our second movement for medicine is simply stretching. Things like reaching way over on both sides, eventually working your way into flexible positions closer to the splits, or stretching muscles that are being used during exercise just helps relieve the nervous tension in the fascia area and makes the movement subsequently a lot more efficient. The muscles actually get stronger if you stretch those muscles prior to them being used and then stretching them once again after you've gone through your workout. In addition, the things that help relieve pain on a movement is associated with circulation. Nutrition plays a strong role. Things like MSM, vitamin Bs, the complex of vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, magnesium, copper, zinc, and omega-3s, essential fatty acids, boost muscle performance, and muscle spasms that result from lower levels of calcium and magnesium can be overcome by regular exercise that facilitates microcirculation in the leg muscles. Boosting circulation in this way can also benefit the lymphatics. It serves as an auxiliary heart that helps pump water up and away from swollen ankles. So the third movement that I wanted to demonstrate quickly is related to strengthening the thighs. Those large muscles are the ones that can become debilitated as we move on in our years, to the point where people can't even get out of a chair without assistance. They require a walker, or perhaps they can't even get up off of the toilet when the time comes that they need to use the restroom. That's what leads to significant difficulties in favor of independence during the older years. And ways that can be improved is an exercise I'll demonstrate for you. Interestingly enough, this exercise also reduces bladder incontinence. And these are the types of muscles that need to be addressed early on to prevent the debilitation of later years, because in those years it's harder to build and restore muscles. And here's that demonstration right here.
The ideal situation is to have a table for support in the back. Separate your feet about shoulder length apart. Put your thighs down parallel to the floor and lift your heels. Ideally, you could hold this stance for 20 seconds at a time and then rest. Do that for 3 cycles to help strengthen the bladder control pelvic floor muscles. Otherwise, to strengthen the glutes, you can just go up and down with your heel and see how that works. 20 times, rest for a few seconds, and try and do 3 cycles at a time, twice a day. And there you go.
And if you can work that up to, say, 20 repetitions twice a day, you'll be on your way to strengthening the type of muscles that can improve bladder continence, and getting out of a chair without assistance. Best of all, you will avoid the need to use a walker in the later years. So in summary, it's important to get our focus out of our head into our body, stretch to boost circulation, and then balance and strengthen the thighs. Hydrate with nutrition. And you'll be on your way to taking advantage of movement as medicine.